Everyone, we are here in our third lesson and in part 3 of Yes We Can, written by Barack Obama. It is his speech which he has delivered in his inauguration program when he was elected as President of America. So let's see what he said. To the Muslim world, we seek a new way forward based on mutual interest and mutual respect. So he is delivering a kind of a message to Muslim countries. And if you know the history of America and few Muslim countries like Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, they have not a good history about it. There are so many wars. Even in January 2020, it was like there will be a war between Iran and America. So, but Obama is suggesting to the Muslim world that if they want peace, we are means America is ready for make a mutual interest and mutual respect. To those leaders around the globe who seek to sow conflict or blame their societies ill on the West, know that your people will judge you on what you can build, not what you destroy. And he is also suggesting those leaders of the world, maybe leaders of the same country, which he already mentioned as a Muslim world, or the other countries, that if the leader of those countries saying that whatever is going wrong in their country, Western culture and Western people and countries are responsible for them. So he is saying that remember the one thing, that your people will remember you not by what you have destroyed but what you have built. So here your time to build something, not to destroy. Then he says, to those who cling to power through corruption and deceit and the silencing of dissent, know that you are on the wrong side of history, but that we will extend a hand if you are willing to unclench your fist. Even he is suggesting those corrupted leaders or corrupted people who just want conflict and nothing else. Just remember that you are on the wrong side of a history. But if you are ready and if you are unclench your fist, or if you are ready to open your hand, we will ready to lend our hands. We are ready to make new interest, to make mutual friendship, make mutual respect. So he is suggesting that if you want to do work with together, we are ready, but if you want war and conflict, we are ready for that too. Next he says, as we consider the road that unfold before us, we remember with humble gratitude those brave Americans who, at this hour, patrol far off deserts and distant mountains. What he is saying, he is actually showing his gratitude towards the American soldier who even right now, when the movement is so much precious, even they are paying their duty, they in their service in the far off somewhere in desert or in mountains. So he is showing his gratitude toward them, that they have something to tell us today, just as the fallen heroes who live in Arlington which whisper through the ages. So in some place in America like Arlington, there may be the corpses of American soldiers are lying right now, and they are whispering something as the current soldiers has to say something, that we honor them not only because they are guardians of our liberty, but because they embody the spirit of service. Even as an Indian, we also respect our army, our soldiers, because they put their life, their personal life at the stake to save ours. They fight on the borders so we can sleep silently, we can sleep peacefully in our home. So they are like very precious people of the country, of any country, and that's why he's saying that they are the guardian of our liberty of freedom. Matlab we can enjoy our freedom because they are guarding it. Willingness to find meaning in something greater than themselves. They are people who can find some meaningfulness in life which is above themselves, and that is for them to guard their country. And yet, at this moment, a movement that will define a generation. It is precisely the spirit that must inhabit us all. And this time, when the people are here, they have to learn and they have to embody this spirit in everyone, that we have to uh, collectively put our goodwill for the country together by putting individual goodwill aside, so a country can get the bigger. For as much as government can do and must do, it is ultimately the faith and determination of the American people upon which the nation relies. Of course, government doing their good job. They are providing us all kind of facilities, but not only government can do. The people of the country has to pay, has to give their own duties, they have to do their own work, they have to trust the government and they have to work hand in hand with government. Then and only then a country can have the freedom, can have the whatever the people of the country want. If they will not support their government cannot do everything. We are in the time of pandemic. See, we are facing the troubles. Our government doing very good job, but we people are not understanding the responsibility that if we stay at home, if we care about each other, then we can solve the problems of it. But we are not listening it. We are just doing what we want to do. That's why, especially in our country, we are facing such a problems. It is the kindness to take in a stranger when the leaves break. The selfishness of a worker who would rather cut their hours than see a friend lose their job. We see us through our darkest hour. It is the firefighter's courage to storm a stairway filled with the smoke, but also a parent's willingness to nurture a child that finally decide our fate. So what is suggesting that every single American is very important. So we will take as in general way that every person of any country is very important. If they are doing higher job or lower job or any kind of a job they are doing, if they are doing in perfect way, then we can create a good country together. So he is giving some examples that leaves means the connection. So a stranger to stranger creates a good connection. Then he is suggesting that if a friend is losing a job, so the friend what will do, that he or she will cut the hours of there, so his or her friend can get a job. So this is kind of a kindness we show to each other to make each other strong. Then firefighters, then mother, parents, and everyone who is related in a different kind of a job, if they do their job honestly, then as I said, collectively a country can get bigger and greater. Our challenges may be new, the instruments with which we meet them by anew, but those values upon which our success depends: hard work and honesty, courage and fair play, tolerance and curiosity, loyalty and patriotism, these things are old. So he's saying that maybe our challenges are new, maybe we are facing something for the first time, so we have no idea what we will do with it, but the values which he has mentioned, that loyalty, curiosity, tolerance are the all, and we can tackle these problems with these old values. These things are true. They have been the quiet force of progress towards our history, and they are true, but as we say, old is gold. So because of the help of these values, we can tackle any kind of problem which we face in future. What is dependent there is a return to the truth. So he is saying that what we have to do, that we have to return to our truth. The truth means, which he has mentioned in the previous section. What is required of us now is a new era of responsibility, a recognition on the part of every American that we have duties to ourselves, our nation, and the world, duties that we do not grudgingly accept but rather seize gladly. firm in the knowledge that there is nothing so satisfying to the spirit, so defying our character than giving our all to the difficult task. So this is the whole paragraph. What he is saying, that we have to understand the responsibility. Every each American or every each country, man or woman, have to understand their responsibility, have to recognize that how much we are important as a individually and as a collectively, that we should not accept whatever we are facing right now grudgingly but gladly. So if you are taking a part in some problems, it is like you are already solving it. So he is suggesting that don't take it as a problem, take it as a something which you, as a challenge, so you can tackle with it. So this is a kind of a promise a citizen do with their or his or her country. This is the meaning of our liberty and our creed. And if you want your liberty, you have to pay for it, you have to work for it. Why men and women are children of every race and every faith can join in celebration across this magnificent mall. So this is liberty which we have chosen, and that's why every age of man or woman or a child, or if every race or every part of the society is here when he is giving his speech. And that man is giving the speech, is giving the example here, that why a man who are the less than 60 years ago might not have been served at the local restaurant can now stand before you to take a most sacred oath. So he gives the example that because we have chosen the liberty, that's why every kind of person, every kind of race, of age, of caste or of a class are there in front of that person who 60 years ago denied to drink his coffee or tea at a restaurant because he was a black person, now is taking the most sacred oath in front of those people, because together they choose something brave, they choose something bigger than their religion, their race, and that is the liberty, that is their freedom, that is their country. So he's suggesting that we should accept. So let us mark this day with remembrance. So let's remember this with some kind of a mark of who we are now and how far we have traveled. Because American history of a race of fight between black and white is so bloody. That's why this day has become more important, that he is saying that we should remember it because we have traveled so far. In the year of America's birth, in the coldest of months, a small band of patriots huddled by dying campfires on the shore of an icy river. So he's saying when America was getting freedom, the time of revolution was very hard. That was month of cold, of winter. At the time, a small band of patriotic people who at the dying campfire the icy river had decided and dying, maybe they are dying, but they have decided we will get our freedom back, and because of that people America stood right now. The capital was abandoned, the enemy was advancing. So when the small troop of patriots trying their hard, but they are facing so many problems, that enemy was advancing, the snow was stained with blood, and the season was of snow, so there was so much blood. As I said, the fight was very bloody. At the moment when the outcome of our revolution was most in doubt, the father of our nation ordered this word to be read to the people. So at the time when it was almost like we will not win, the fathers of nation gave some word which encouraged that. What were the word? That let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, that the city and the country, alarmed at one common danger, came forth to meet it. And their word was like that, that future must know, the future generation must know that when there was a hardcore winter and there was nothing to survive, only hope and virtue can survive this winter. At the time, the city and the country has alarmed against the danger, and everyone came to fore to fight against it, and we won it. So these are the powerful words which can encourage any person that whatever is going on, we can fight. We can take it as a country person or as an individual, that if you are losing your hope, just hold on and fight it, and you will win in future. In the last paragraph, he says that in the face of our common danger, in this winter of our hardship, let us remember this timeless word. So even when he was elected, they was facing some challenges. So he is comparing that we are already in a winter of a challenge, coldness. We will remember this word and we will work through it. With hope and virtue, let us brave once more the icy currents. So again, when this river is icy, but we will have hope, we will have virtue, we will have courage, and we will cross this river of challenges, river of problems, and endure what storm may come, and we will face whatever storm will come. Let it be said by our children's children that when we were tested, we refused to let this journey end. So when our future generation will know the story, they will know that whatever the challenge was, but our ancestor didn't give up, and they didn't end up their journey. That we did not turn back, nor did we falter, and with eyes fixed on the horizon and God's grace upon us, we carried for that great gift of freedom and delivered it safely to the future generation. And they never gave up, they never turned back, and their eyes were fixed on the horizons, and with the help of God, with the grace of God, they carried this gift of freedom and delivered to the future generation. So for that, for the future generation, for the present and for the future, every American has to fight their fight right now. It is similar to every countryman has to fight their fight right now for the future's good. So this is the last paragraph of our lesson. Some question answers. So the very first question is, what message Obama is delivering to the leader of the world? So he has started started his lesson with, he's saying something to the Muslim world that if they want to be friendship, America is ready to. But those leaders who he seek to sow conflict or blame their societies ill on the West, he is kind of giving them warning that their people will not remember by what they destroyed, they will remember by what they built. And those people who are so much into in the corruption and deceit and silence of dissent, that they are the part of the wrong side of the history, and American will fight against them. So this is kind of a warning to the leaders who are want to do conflict. Next question, how Obama is praising American soldiers? So he's showing his gratitude toward the soldiers who even that time, even at that very hour, who were patrolling far off desert and distant mountains, who can have their personal life, but they are guardians of their liberty, and because they embody the spirit of service, they showing that what is service could be, a willingness to find meaning in something greater than themselves, who have chosen service as greater than their own self. That is why he is praising American soldiers. Third question, how a nation relies on the determination and fate of its people. As he said that not only a government but the people of any country, and he is mentioning especially of America, that it relies their determination that how country will be built. So any person who is firefighters or a parents or a teacher, if they are doing their good job, they are actually creating a very good future for their country. So he is saying that it is like a mutual work, hand-to-hand work with government and the people. Next question, how can we meet challenges? So he is suggesting there are people that he is saying challenges may be new, their problems are new, but they will fight against it with the old values about courage, tolerance, and etc. He's giving the examples that they will fight it, and they will not accept with the grudge, but they will accept with glad. What responsibility are every American has to follow? He's suggesting that the responsibility that they have to recognize that they are not just individual, but they are living in a community. They have to accept these challenges, this responsibility, not with the grudge but with the glad, and they have to understand their importance, that if they will work collectively, if they give their best, they will get something, they will achieve something greater, and with them their country will also uplift. What words Obama suggesting his people to follow, said by father of the nation? So he's suggesting that when there were revolution was about to come, but they are facing some problems. Few patriotic people were fighting against the odds, and the month were very cold. At the time when almost everyone losing their hope, the fathers of the nation, means kind of a patriotic people, who gave the words. You have to quote the words that, let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, that the city and the country, alarmed at once, common danger, came forth to meet it. So these are the words that in the time when only in the cold and only hope and virtue can survive, we fight for it and we came forward to meet it. So these are the whole lesson, that how America was created and how Obama is very proud of it, and when he was elected he has accepted the challenge in suggesting the people to face them and solve it, so the country can become greater again. So this is our third lesson. In next lecture we will see our fourth lesson.